first win of the playoffs for the Toronto Raptors. We hoped this team would come out flying today. We knew they needed to come out guns a-blazing, and boy, oh boy, did they not disappoint. Raptors crush the Orlando Magic 111-82. The Raptors defensively gave up 82 points. They were incredible right from the get-go. The Raptors had the lead. The Magic did not lead once in this game. The Raptors at one point led by 34, and they cruised to the victory. I mean, and the story of this game, you know, what was the talk about the last game? Well, the talk about the last game was Kyle Lowry not getting a single point and DJ Augustin being the deciding factor in Game 1. Today, the script was flipped. And I gotta say, I gotta tip the cap to Raptor fans down there inside Scotiabank Arena. Kyle Lowry at the free throw line early in the game. Cheering. Usually you don't say anything, right? You just stay quiet. You keep quiet and let them shoot their free throws. He misses the first one. And then the crowd gets loud and on their feet, knocks it down. The crowd elates, explodes. And from that moment onwards, Kyle Lowry was incredible. He was spectacular in the game today. Now, Kawhi Leonard was incredible as well. I mean, him and Kyle Lowry take my both player of the games. Kawhi Leonard had 37 points, 4 boards, 4 dimes on 15 of 22 shooting. You guys do the math. That is 68% from the field. Meanwhile, he was 4 of 8 from 3. 3 of 3 from the line. He had, 2 steals in the game and was a plus 37. He was incredible. Kyle Lowry ended the game with 22 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 8 of 13 shooting, 4 of 5 from the line, 2 of 4 from 3. He had 2 steals. He got a block in the game. He was a plus 30. Lowry was dynamite. And I'm not just talking about him. Siakam has a double-double, 19 and 10 on 8 of 16 shooting. Marc Gasol, 9 points, 3 boards, 5 assists on 3 of 5 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3, and 4 steals for Marc Gasol. He was a presence, and a plus 22 was Marc Gasol. By the way, Siakam was plus 21 as well. Danny Green goes 0-4, misses all his shots he takes, but plus 23 on the floor. You know you're going to get that defense from Danny Green. Right from the get-go, right from tip-off, the Raptors at one point had an 11-0 lead to start the game. The defense dug in right away, the offense started cruising, and they were fantastic. 26-18 after one quarter of play, 25-21 in the second quarter, 39-27 in the third quarter, 39! And Kawhi Leonard had 12 or 13 in that third quarter, and only 21-16 in the fourth. But you win every single quarter, you're going to win every single game. And the Raptors win by, I think it's 29 or whatnot here. An amazing game by the Raptors. They shoot, 48% from 3 from the field, only 31% from 3. But that's not really what matters. These numbers that I'm going to talk about right now are what matters in the game. You hold the Orlando Magic to 37% from the field, 26% from 3, 54% from the free throw line. If you hold teams to those numbers, you are going to win almost every single game. Now, I'm not saying the Raptors are going to play like this every game, but they have the capability to do so. Turnovers, limited, only 7 by the Raptors in the game. They had 17. And like we talked about as the matchup in the last game, that was the deciding factor. Augustin and Lowry. We already talked about Kyle Lowry's fantastic game. Augustin, he only played 23 minutes. He had 9 points, 4 assists on 1 of 6 shooting. He missed the 1-3 he took, and he was a minus 21. You see what happens when Kyle Lowry digs in. And not only did he get 22 points, we don't expect him to get 22 every single night, but he took 2 charges. He was all up on the defense. He was amazing defensively. The referees were horrendous all game long, but it didn't matter. The Raptors went out there and played their game no matter what. Even though the refs were trying to get Kawhi Leonard into foul trouble. Because he was at 3 fouls midway through the second quarter, and Nick Nurse took a gamble. but had faith in Kawhi Leonard and left him out there in the second quarter. A lot of people would have taken him out and kind of rested him for the second half, but Nick Nurse is like, no. We want to build on this lead, and we want to have that next level going into that third quarter. And the Raptors won that second quarter by 4. You know what? Because Kawhi Leonard was initially out and came back in, then left again, right, later in the second quarter. You know what that span of Kawhi Leonard playing that little bit there? The Raptors were +4. What did they end that quarter in the second quarter? +4. Nick Nurse, great gamble, trusting your best player, trusting one of the best players in the game, and letting him ball. And my God, Kawhi Leonard was incredible tonight. Defensively, he was spectacular. Offensively, he's a wizard. Playoff Kawhi Leonard, if you guys did not see my tweet on Twitter, beast mode. Kawhi was incredible right from the get-go. He took over some parts of these games, and the fact that in the first game, he shot 10 of 18 from the field, over 50%. And in game 2 today, he shot 68% from the field. That is insane. Now, as much as we wanted to get both games at home and win both and head to Orlando up 2-0, that didn't happen. But seeing the Raptors get their flow again like they did today, it's very good to see them play the way they did tonight, now heading on the road. All right, so game 3 of this series, guys, goes on Friday night in Orlando. It's a 7 o'clock tip-off there in Orlando, Florida. And for the Raptors, it's a pretty big game. Now, it's not a game where you're going to be like, well, it's a must-win. I'm not going to say that, but it's a big game. You take that lead in the series, you regain your home court advantage, right? What the Leafs are doing to the Bruins, they continue to take away that home court, or I guess home ice for that matter. But for the Raptors, you want to grab that home court right back. You play like you did today, you are winning you are winning in four games now. You're winning in 5. But it's not going to be easy. You can't expect the Raptors to play like they did today on a night-to-night basis. Look, you know for a fact that Orlando going back home after just getting crushed are going to throw their best punch at you in the next game. And I don't care if that next game has to be a greasy win, if they don't shoot the ball up, but they dig in defensively and win a tight game, 198 or whatnot. I don't care. The playoffs are all about wins and losses. There's no moral victories. There's no, well, this guy played a good game defensively, even though he's horrendous offensively, and didn't give you anything and you lost. Right? For the Raptors, look, the great thing in game 1 was seeing Siakam do great and Leonard do great, but in the end you lost, so it didn't really matter. Today, everyone worked well. The starting unit was amazing once again, and you got the victory. That's when it feels good. In game 3 on Friday, they got to dig in defensively. If they can play with that sort of defensive intensity like they did today, they'll have one heck of a series. They really will. Now, like I said, you got to find a way to contain the Magic in that next game. Terrence Ross, you saw it in this game, and we know him from years past. When he gets hot, he's hard to stop. In that second quarter, there was a few shots where people are draped all over him, but he was feeling good, so he takes the shot, and he was making the shots. So for a guy like that, for a guy like, Terrence Ross, you got to find a way to contain him. Now, he only played 27 minutes, and he had 15 points on 5 of 10 shooting, but he was red hot to start. He did cool off a little bit, thank goodness, but we got to be wary of that heading into the next game. This Raptors, it was an incredible game by the Raptors. Amazing job by Kyle Lowry, Marc Gasol on the defensive end, Kawhi Leonard in general, because he's a freak, and playoff Kawhi Leonard is amazing. Raptor fans, I loved DeMar DeRozan. I mean, as you guys can tell, I'm wearing DeMar DeRozan's jersey. I always loved Debo. But Kawhi Leonard, we now see what the difference is between DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs. You've seen it here. You saw it in game 1. Even though you lost, you still saw him do very well. And now you see it today. Kawhi Leonard is insane. He's an amazing player. And he's a Toronto Raptor. I don't care if, people are like, well, he might not be next year. We're playing in the now, people. Let's enjoy it. All right, so guys, you know what? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed the victory there today. Smack that like button to appreciate that. I'm spitting all over the place. Smack that like button to appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below what you think of the game. Who is your MVP? My MVP is got to be a split MVP from Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry. People are going to say Kawhi because he had 37. That's amazing. I mean, he did amazing. But Kyle Lowry, especially after what happened in Game 1, fires up 22 on amazing shooting, gives you great defense, got in for 3 steals, took a couple charges. Incredible game by Kyle Lowry, the energy guy of this team. You know, my co-MVPs are Kawhi and Kyle Lowry. Who's yours? Let me know in the comments below. And I will talk to you, Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast session. We have no idea. It's going to be a crazy, crazy week and a crazy weekend with Easter and all that stuff going on. But again, I'll keep you guys posted on when that'll be going on the next podcast. Links are in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys. It'll be what? Leafs edition. Game 4 of round 1 against the Boston Bruins. A big game for the Leafs. You win, you're up 3-1 in the series. You lose, it's 2-2 heading back to Boston. Big game at Scotiabank Arena tomorrow night, 7 o'clock puck drop there at Scotiabank Arena as the Leafs look to take a 3-1 series lead over the Boston Bruins. As for the Blue Jays, we'll talk to you in a very short bit of time here as they beat the Minnesota Twins, hang on to win 6-5 on an amazing relay from Hernandez, and Freddie Galvis finished off with a tag from Danny Jansen at the plate to win that game 6-5 and to help Ken Giles keep his save. And now he's got 2 straight saves. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. And as for the Raptors, like we've talked about, their next game is Friday night. All right, down in Orlando, taking on the Magic. Game 3 of the 7-game series against the Orlando Magic. You play like you did today, we're going to win that game in Orlando. It's not going to be easy. They're going to fire out their best punch, but the Raptors got to be ready for it, and they're going to start out strong in the first quarter. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.